Welcome to Automotive World, everyone. I'm your host, Vinay Mystery, and we have one of our top stories today. This is actually from yesterday. Unfortunately, they released this press release yesterday, but unfortunately, they were outshadowed by the 4Runner. But we have some all-new news on the Ford Mustang Mach-E. We're getting faster charging, we're getting more range, it's getting quicker, we're getting more power, and we've got some pricing as well. So we're going to go through the whole newsroom article here. We're going to go through all the good, juicy stuff. Let's get right into this and find out what's going on with the new Mach-E and the new improvements. So we're going to come into here for 2024. We know Ford has been doing some motorsport stuff with EVs, as all brands have been doing. It's, that's motorsport is the best way to really push cars to the limits and then, bring it down to the consumer level and see, what's good and how can we make it better. And the first part, we start off here. Faster than Tesla Model Y. The car here is getting quicker. They've done some engine upgrades, which is going to give us more power, and they've actually made the actual electric motors themselves lighter. So right now with Mustang Mach-E GT performance upgrade, Mustang Mach-E is a 0 to 60 of 3.3 seconds, which is faster than both Tesla Model Y performance and Porsche Macan 4 electric. And then on the quarter mile, we have at 11.8 seconds, we have 114 miles per hour. Their new performance upgrade, what they've done in the powertrain, it's not only helped them improve the torque by giving them an additional 100 pound-feet of torque. We don't have any horsepower improvements, or they're not telling us they have any horsepower improvements, but we do know that because of what they've done with the new engine, with the new electric motor, making it a little bit lighter, developing it in-house and reworking the thermals and things like that, this vehicle is now getting an additional 100 pound-feet of torque compared to the previous vehicle without the performance upgrade. And that's a noticeable thing in any vehicle, especially in EV where it's instant torque. You can do it in instant torque. 100 pound-feet or even 100 of anything is a considerable upgrade. So that's really, really good that we have that. We're getting more torque, we're getting, faster, better performance. We've got it here. Obviously, they've got it here. Mustang, Mach-E customers are going to be able to get this performance upgrade standard. They talk about also, they were one of the ones to standardize Brembo brakes in the EVs and things like that. Nothing really too much here. They do talk about here with the new e-motor that was developed in-house by Ford. Another reason they were able to get those times is not only because of, like I said, the new throttle mapping and the new thermals in the powertrain and obviously getting that extra 100 pound-feet of torque, but it does weigh a little bit less to deliver that improved torque across the lineup. They don't tell us how much the new one weighs or what the difference is, but it does weigh less, and obviously in EVs as well, weight is everything, so that's not only going to help out performance, it's also going to help out range a ton. So that's a really, really good upgrade to see. When it comes to charging, we have got faster charging. So right here, Mustang Mach-E with available extended range batteries, they charge almost 20% faster than the previous DC fast charging models. That's going to allow you to enable anywhere from 10, go from 10 to 80% in approximately 36.2 minutes. Obviously, for a lot of people, including myself, it's still a little bit high, but the fact that, wasn't long ago, we were at an hour, and now we went down to 45, and now we're getting, closer, if not into the 30s. It's still a lot for most people. I know a lot of people maybe can't afford to spend 30 minutes and sit down and charge, but charging times are coming down, and it is a really, really big thing. We also have improvements on the standard range battery as well, 10 to 80% in 32.3 minutes. Which is 5.7 minutes, almost 6 minutes faster charging than when Mach-E originally launched, to go from 10 to 80% in the standard range battery. So both battery charging times when it comes to fast charging from 10 to 80% is coming down. Really, really good to see that. It's obviously good for, if you're going to take this vehicle, drive it long distance and things, that's really where you're going to utilize that charging time. Really, really good to see that. Also, we have here, obviously, Mustang Mach-E, they're going to give us the new e-motors, so we're going to get those tweaks. We're going to get increased range. We have range figures here, and we've got pricing. So just before we even get into more of this, Ford, whoever set up this article in your guys' PR department, thank you. You guys made this super simple. Most of the time we always have to wait for one or the other, but you guys gave us power, torque, quarter mile. You guys gave us everything. So obviously we have the 2024 model year EPA range, and then we have our improvement range here. So the regular Mustang Mach-E with just the regular one, standard range, standard battery, rear wheel drive. It was getting 250 EPA range, which is what they're getting now, which is a 20 miles range improvement. Mustang Mach-E Premium extended range battery rear wheel drive, 320 is what we're getting right now, so that's a 20-mile range improvement. Mustang Mach-E GT, we're at 280, so that's 10 miles of range. That's an improvement as well. And then Mustang Mach-E Rally, the performance one, that's the one that we saw at the top there. We're getting 265 there. We don't really know what the improvement was for that. Obviously, though, that will get better as well, as that is going to be the test bed that they're going to use to find out better range, find out how we can do better charging, better thermals, better, power and torque. So it's really good to see that we do have on, some of them, it's 10 miles. So, in the hindsight, it's not really that much, but hey, 10 miles is 10 miles, 20 miles is 20 miles. So, I know probably a lot of us are thinking, oh, it should be 30, 50, 80, 100 miles. But, hey, an improvement is improvement. Slowly, we're getting there. But it's good to see that Ford is making those improvements. We obviously have in the article down here, Jim Farley, obviously they are teaming up with Tesla, so Fords can now go to Tesla supercharging stations, as well as, improve their Blue Oval network, which is really, really good. So you can just use the app from there, pay from there. You don't have to download the Tesla app. Really, really cool to see that. We just got a little bit of that there. Obviously now we have a map here, and this is from the 29th of February in 2024. So this is showing how many charges there are between Ford's Blue Oval network and the Tesla supercharging stations. And obviously we can see, kind of up here in the, up north, and kind of, you could kind of almost say too, even in the Midwest, when it comes to Tesla charging stations and even Blue Oval network stuff, it's really, it's not very, it's kind of, you could almost say it's sort of dense. There's lots of places where they're still not charging, but then you look, up here in Washington and Oregon and California, super, so many charging stations. You come over to the east side here, Cleveland, Jersey, New York, Boston, all Florida. I mean, you just look at this. I mean, the whole one half, this one half of the country here is just absolutely just kind of bombarded with Tesla supercharging stations and Blue Oval stations, which is good because you need the infrastructure for these vehicles. You need to have the infrastructure first, because that's what makes Tesla successful. Obviously, you can see from the map here, there's still a lot of places to go. There's still a lot of places where it's very sparse. Even in the bigger metropolitan places, there still needs to be some gaps filled here, but especially really up here, in Nevada and everything. That's just not enough. That's just not enough. But we can clearly see that this is improving. But really, in these big metropolitan cities, Florida, New York, and in Miami and Orlando, I mean, it's really there's plenty of, and they're still adding them, but there's a huge amount of chargers here. Really, really nice to see that. And then we come down to the bottom here. We've got some new bronze packages, things like that. Really, really good to see that. Always great to have some, some extra trim pieces. Give customers that, those options if they want it. We've got, the EV version, the Rally version here. Really, really nice to see. This is obviously from the one that we saw at the top there, from the performance one that they're using. Really, really cool to see that we're getting that. We're also going to get some increased capability as well. New, Bluetooth, we've got all that stuff. Newer, over-the-air software updates. Typical improvements that we see, including with Blue Cruise as well. We've got that here. And then we've got some pricing here as well. Keep in mind too, obviously these are just starting prices, MSRP. These are without packages and options and things like that. But we do have here for the Select, it's going to start as of right now at $40,000. Keep in mind too, this is without dealer fees and tax and things like that. This is also excluding dealer markup. This is just MSRP. But we've got the Select starting at $40 for rear-wheel drive with the standard battery. If you want the standard battery with all-wheel drive, that goes up to about $43.5. If you want all-wheel drive with the extended range battery in the basic trim and select, it's going to go up to about 46.9, so 47. When you come up to the premium trim, if you want standard range rear-wheel drive, 43.9, so 44. You're going to come to about 47 with standard range all-wheel drive. Then when you want extended range rear-wheel drive, you're going to start at 47 as well. And if you want extended range all-wheel drive, you're going to go to 50. Essentially 49.9. When you come up to GT, which is one of the most popular trims with this vehicle, it's one of the ones that they benchmark the most. That's the one that they use to get those Tesla Model Y numbers, saying that they were faster than. So this is something this is a popular trim. It's a cool EV. This is one that they're going to sell a lot of. It's going to start at about 54. That's going to come with the extended range battery, all-wheel drive. Then you're going to have your options up here. Bronze appearance is going to be about 2,000. Performance upgrades are going to be $995 or $745. There are going to be different, options and packages and things like that you can pick. So those are just the two prices for those main ones there. That doesn't include any other, interior accessories that you may get. But those are just some of the prices for the main packages there. And then obviously the Mustang Mach-E, that rally version, you got the cool wheels on, which honestly I think these wheels are actually cooler right here in the GT. But you got the some cool wheels too, and it's the rally version. You're gonna get the extended range battery, all-wheel drive. It's gonna start you at 60. Like I said, this is just MSRP. This is without any of the dealer fees, any of those filing fees, taxes, and things like that. I hope there's no MSR. I hope there's no market adjustments on these. I know with Ford dealers though, there tend to be some, especially on these GT and the Mustang Mach-E rally trims. So I hope there's no market adjustments on them. But if there is any dealer markups and things like that, obviously these prices would be excluding that. This is just MSRP. But realistically, no matter which one of these, essentially if you're looking at a Mustang Mach-E, no matter which trim you get, just to kind of give you a broad range of what you're going to be spending. If you get the most basic trim, the select, no dealer markups with fees and all that, you're probably going to be looking at like 40, 43 out the door, taxes and all, depending on where you live as well. 43 out the door. Maybe you might get some more incentives and things, but you're going to be looking around around that price. And then obviously, if you're going at the Mustang Mach-E, you're already going to be well into the 60s. Maybe not necessarily the 70s if you get a market adjustment, but you're going to be probably like mid 60s. So it's coming down. Prices on these are coming down. They still need to come down a lot more. Not only on these vehicles, but there also just needs to be a bigger option of them. We need to have vehicles that have good performance, good range, but we don't necessarily need all these features. There's a lot of vehicles that we have. We just need more options in the market. But I mean, we can see MSRP wise, they are starting at an okay price. They do seem to be on the downward trajectory, especially with the recent developments in EV, and especially with Ford, them canceling a lot of projects and kind of slowing down progression on some of their newer EV factories and things. We know Ford too is losing a lot of money on EVs, so it's, in a way, it's good for the consumer, not good for Ford, but good for the consumer price-wise. And obviously, we have little asterisks here. With EVs, the EV market is very volatile. Price can go up, price can go down. We've seen it one day the price is one thing, the next day it jumps up by 10 grand. So obviously, even though these are the official prices right now from Ford, this is officially from Ford and their media center. Just given, we know the market of the EV landscape, just take these prices with a grain of salt, because these prices can easily go up at any time, and especially too with the GTs, and especially with a lot of Ford dealers, we've seen it. It's been highly publicized, especially too if you're looking at like a GT or Mustang Mach-E trim. Like I said, I hope there's no dealer markups for you, but more than likely a lot of Ford dealers are being really scummy and they're doing dealer markups. So price wise, you're not going to get the best deal there. But that's all we have for this video. New upgrades on the Ford Mustang Mach-E across the board. Obviously we had some infotainment, things like that, better software, but we got the big things: more range, faster charging, more performance, lighter weight, and we have some pricing as well and some new options as well. So it's really good to see that. Thanks for watching, everyone.